Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Great to see you again. Now, about a year ago, I made a video about this thing. It's a Lightning to HDMI connector that plugs into your phone, that plugs into an HDMI cable. You can. Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Great to see you again. Now, about a year ago, I made a video about this thing. It's a Lightning to HDMI connector that plugs into your phone, that plugs into an HDMI cable. You can
Hi, it's Uta and Ron from Salty Beaver Explorers, and today we're just sort of going to give you an update of our last video, well, our video from 2 weeks ago about the heat wave and fires in British Columbia.
for, and find some way of making your video unique. So, and now for point number two, which is who are you making these videos for? Now, a lot of people say, well, I really just want to make videos for me, and then other people like me will come and watch it. And okay, that's kind of valid and fair enough if you're a member of a very generic kind of group of people that, and we all do want to make videos about things that we're passionate about. That's a good thing to do. You should always make sure you're passionate about your subject. If you're not, then it's going to come across like I'm just bored and I'm kind of doing this for the money, but I don't, yeah, that kind of thing. You don't want that. And another answer I've had is, well, as long as my mum's happy with the videos I'm making, that's good enough for me. And fine, but then your audience is going to be you and your mum, and that's about it. So that's not going to be a channel that's giving people value and giving them something that they want to watch and come back and see more of. So when you're looking at who you're making videos for, there's a really good exercise that you can go through. And this is defining who that person is. So make somebody up. This is what they're calling a target audience. And the best thing you can do there is make up somebody. In some channels and other people who are talking about this, they call it an avatar. So this person, you can give them a name, figure out how old they are, what they do for a job, whether the thing that they're doing here, so if it's cameras, for example, are they hobbyist camera people, or is it a professional camera person? If it's hobbyist camera people, what kind of income does your target audience person have? When do they get up in the morning? Where do they live? What country are they in? This sort of thing. Do they have kids that they drop to school? When is it that they pick up their phone or sit down in front of their computer and watch your YouTube video? What time of day do they do that? All of these things are important because they change the language that you're using when you talk to this person. They change the time that you publish your videos. What time of day are you putting the video out at? They change the subject that you're using. Are you going to concentrate on cameras that are in the $100 to $200 range, or are you going to be looking at camera bodies that are in the $2,000 to $3,000 range, or the $5,000 to $10,000 range? Are you looking at budget lenses or professional lenses? This sort of thing. And understanding who your target audience is a really important thing to do, because then it's going to feed more information about how you're going to frame the videos that you're giving to them. Do they have 5 minutes to watch a video, or if they got 20 minutes to watch a video? Are the kids going to come and disturb them? This sort of thing. You really need to have a think about what this is and be prepared to change it. You can evolve your avatar over time, evolve your target viewer over time, and also pick that out from looking at the YouTube analytics and see who is actually watching your videos. So if you're making your videos targeting somebody who's 20 to 25-year-old kind of audience, and then you find later on that most of your videos are being watched by people who are in between 40 and 50, then maybe you need to have a bit of a think about it, because those 40 to 50-year-old people, maybe they're more at the professional or maybe hobbyist range, but possibly they've got a more stable income. And look at the comments and find out more about these people as well. There's heaps of places you can go to get little bits of information to modify that target audience picture that you have. Now, point number three is looking at the camera you're using. Myself right here, I'm using a bit of a pricey Sony a7S III with a really nice lens on it. You don't need that. You can quite happily use your cell phone. The best camera to use, as a lot of people say, you're going to hear this a lot, is the one that you've got in your pocket right now. So if you're in a studio environment and you've got a DSLR, hey, maybe that's the best camera for you to use right now. If you don't have a DSLR or other camera and you've only got a phone, then and you've only got the phone, then just use your phone camera. But make sure that the image that you're getting from it is the best that you can. And we'll talk about lighting and things in a wee while. Avoid using webcams. Now, a lot of webcams are getting quite old now. They can be relatively pricey, but they're not giving a very good image. And their post-processing depth of field and stuff like that isn't going to give you anything like we've got here. You're far better off spending that money on a second cell phone, maybe, if you want to do that. The other thing to do is, if you're shooting with a cell phone, go and grab an application which is available for both Android and iOS called Filmic Pro. Now, Filmic Pro is, I think, around about $20 US, or it's $25 New Zealand, I think. It's a fantastic thing. You can get a suite of these applications, and it'll do things like let you use the rear cameras on one phone, and you can monitor that from a second phone and control it from a second phone. And you can pick up a second phone from the supermarket for $100 these days. So that's actually a really good way to go to get a cheap camera with a good monitor and not use the front facing camera on your phone, because let's face it, the front facing camera is the worst one on your phone at all. But yeah, pick a camera that works for you, that gives you a reasonably good image. Go get Filmic Pro if you're using a cell phone, because that's a great way to get started and will give you a lot of power and a brilliant image and let you control a lot of things that are normally automatic on a phone. If you want to see more about that, let me know in the comments below, and I will do some more detailed videos on how to use Filmic Pro for creating YouTube videos. Anyway, the next thing to get into is sound. Now, microphones, there are thousands and thousands of microphones out there. Usually the one that's built into your phone or camera is going to be okay, and you can get away with using that. But you also want to have a look at the sound in the environment around you. Do you have a lot of echo, that kind of thing, and minimize all of this. So play around, record some short videos for yourself and think, okay, is the sound quality there okay? If it's not, then go and get yourself a microphone. One of the things that you can get that's not terribly pricey is something like the Rode Wireless Go, which is a wireless lapel mic. It'll plug into most cameras, or it'll plug into your computer, and you can record sound wirelessly. It's a great one to have if you're shooting outdoors, because it comes with a little thing that you just hook on under your bed if you've got a bed, or just under the collar of your shirt or something like that. And because it's wireless, you can be right up close to the camera like this, or you can be 20 or 30 meters away, and the sound quality is going to be great in either place. If you're in a studio situation like I am here, you can get yourself a short shotgun mic like the Rode Micro Video mic. That's this thing here, excuse the noise. There you go, it's that microphone there, and it's got great sound, and they're only about $80 US or something like that. If you want to start spending a bit more money and you're going out in the wind, you can get some of the thing like the Rode Video mic, or there's a heap of other mics that you can get around the place these days. If you want to see a video more on different YouTuber type microphones, you can get at a good value up to some really pro gear. Once again, leave a comment down below saying, hey Tim, make a video on more microphones, and I will go and do that. I do have some specialist microphones that are on the way to me, by the way, that I am going to be making more videos about soon, so make sure you subscribe as well so that you don't miss those when they come out. The next thing about sound is the audio levels. Now, when you're recording, you want to make sure that the sound that you're recording is of a good level. Now, typically that is between -6 and 0 dB. Your editing software will show you this, and if you're using something like the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro, then that will show you your sound levels as you're recording. A lot of recorders do have sound levels on them as well, but make sure that the audio you are recording isn't too quiet, and it's not too loud, and it's not popping. And if you do that and take a little bit of care in that, then you will come up with some great audio for your videos as well. When you're mixing your audio and say some background music together, you want to make sure that the background music is about 8 to 10 decibels or 12 decibels quieter than your vocals. Otherwise, the music can start interfering and be distracting. Use music and sound effects in your videos where they actually add something to the video. Don't just put them in because everybody does it or it's cool or something like that. Don't put music in if it's distracting. Don't have too many background noises or ambient sound if it's distracting. You want people to be focusing on your voice. That's the whole point of this video, is you're giving them a message and some value, and you want to make sure that your voice is the dominant thing and people aren't getting distracted with other stuff, like your cat, for example. Cats can be very distracting when they jump up on you when you're shooting a video. The final thing about microphones is the microphone placement. The best thing you can do is get the microphone that you're recording voice with as close to you as you possibly can. The reason for that is that the sound coming from you will be most dominant on the microphone, and any background noises that happen will be much quieter in comparison. That way you can dim out those background noises or remove them entirely, and they won't be distracting, or they'll be much less significant in your final video. Number 5 is about lighting. And the first type of lighting I want to talk about is ambient lighting. Really simple rule here. Make sure that the dominant light is in front of you, not behind you. If the dominant light is behind you, everything behind you is going to be bright and you're going to be a blacked out silhouette. So make sure that if you're outdoors, the sun's in front of you. If you're shooting at night, there's a shop window. Use the shop window as a light source and hold your phone up with the shop window here so that the window light is lighting you up and not behind you. And, you know, if you're in your living room or bedroom or something making videos, then make sure that the camera isn't pointing towards the brightest window. Have the camera sitting in the window so the window light is on you. Real easy to do with ambient lighting. If you've got a little bit of budget and you can get some lights, some LED panels, or just go to Home Depot or warehouse or something, then you can set up some 3-point lighting. 3-point lighting is where you've got a big soft light source in front of you for general lighting of your face and everything, where you've got a side light or a key light that can give you some shape. As you can see, I've got here the bit of a brighter light around the side of my face, and also have a rear light which shines from behind you, and it actually just lights up the back of your hair and stuff, and your shoulders and things like that, and it separates you out lighting wise from your background. That's a basic 3-point lighting setup. If you want to know more about 3-point lighting, then click up here and go and have a look at my other video, but do it after you've watched this one, or open it in another tab, of course. And if you want to know more about lighting in general and you have any particular questions, put them into the comment section below so that I can come back and answer those questions or make you a specific video. There's another way of doing 3-point lighting with a single light, where you can set up a really big bright light above you, have that spill down a little bit behind you so that you've got a bit of that backlight. Have the main bright light bounce off the wall behind your monitors. This works really well if you're in a small space. And you can also put a reflector up on one side or the other to give you some shape light as well. If you want to see a video on that, let me know down below and I'll make it for you. Number 6 is looking at the space that you're shooting in. Now, be very careful about where you're making your videos. You want a really nice background that's interesting but not too distracting. I've been doing things like building the shelf up here, and I've put some of my cameras in there and put a few colored lights in it. The lights cost about $40 each off AliExpress. The shelf was something that cost me $20, $30 from a local warehouse, Home Depot type store. And the cameras are just cameras I've got anyway. There's other gear that I've got up over here on these shelves, and some of my other filmmaking gear and a couple of bits and pieces I've been working with that I'm putting up here so that people can see them. That's my cool kind of stuff. And of course, I've got my skateboard just behind me here as well, because hey, I like my skateboard. I'm going to be making some videos about that soon. The next thing to think about in your space is camera placement. Keep your camera in front of you, of course, and slightly below eye level. If you've got your camera slightly below eye level and it's pointing just a little bit up at you, it makes you seem a little bit more authoritative to your audience and you'll get better attention. It actually works. It's a small trick, but keep that one in mind as well. If you've got a top-down camera, for some reason, people look at that as seeing down on you. It's what we call a diminishing shot in the industry. And it's what you do if you want somebody to feel weaker. If you want somebody to feel a little bit stronger and more authoritative, you shoot from slightly below the eye line. It's a really simple trick. It's a great one to use, and it actually works, and that's the main thing. If you're using monitors when you're shooting videos, a really important thing is don't put the monitor too close to the center of the lens. It's really tempting, so it's easier to see, but if you do have a monitor really close to the lens, you'll find that you'll end up looking at the monitor all the time and not looking at the lens. What's a really good idea is put it about a foot or a foot and a half off to the side, so it's kind of around here where I've got mine, and you can still see it in your peripheral vision, and you'll learn that you can see what's happening easily enough without actually having to look at the monitor all the time. Your eye's less likely to flick over there and see it because it's simply a little bit further away. That's another really good trick. You're welcome. If you want a monitor for looking at copy or text or something, so notes on your video, which I've got over here, then it's a good idea to put that one directly behind your camera and a little bit further into the distance, so it's actually out of focus and it's not distracting you when you're reading it. I've got one just set up here that's got all of my notes on it for this video, for example, and I've got the one that I can see my image in over on this side, and that way they're not too distracting. I can have a quick look at that one between shots that I'm doing, and you'll know these jump cuts I've got in the video, which I'm trying to do as few of as I can, are ones where I'm having a quick look at my next note so that I know what to talk about and I can remember, because it's a long video. Sometimes I just try and memorize the list beforehand, but that's not going to work for this one. Another thing that you can do is, if you do have a long list and you've got a little bit of budget that you can spend on some really useful gear, I strongly recommend getting a teleprompter, and I've actually got one on order, so I'm going to be making a video about that soon. It works by having a phone or a tablet underneath the camera lens, and it reflects off back to you, so you can see what's on the tablet surface from a 45-degree piece of glass that sits in front of the lens. The lens can't see what's on the glass because it's being reflected out to you, but you can read all of this text and maybe have a touchpad or a mouse or something to help you scroll up through that text while you're reading it, and you don't have to take your eyes away from the lens at all, because everything that you want is directly here in front of you. Number 7 here is all about network speed, and it's something that surprisingly so many YouTubers just take for granted or don't think about. Quite often people will know that they've got 25 or 100 or 200 or a gigabit download speed, but they won't know what their upload speed is. Go and grab the tool, which you can get on App Store or Google Play or on your computer anywhere. It's available for everything, or you can just go speedtest.net, grab this app, go to the website and test what your actual internet speed is. Make sure that your download speed is sufficient, that it's sort of like 10, 20 or 1,000 megabits per second, and make sure that your upload speed is at the absolute minimum, about 4 megabits per second, preferably 6 or 8 or even 15 megabits per second, especially if you're going to try and do any sort of streaming. If you don't have that kind of speed, seriously consider upgrading your internet package, because it's just not going to work for you, especially if you're streaming. If you do have a really slow upload speed and you're just making videos, I know a lot of people, especially in some of the bigger US cities and in some Asian countries, who have to go out and find an internet cafe to do their uploads, because otherwise they just time out. It's surprising, in some of the highest tech countries and cities in the world, the internet speeds are absolutely miserable. Move to New Zealand, it's fantastic here. My number 8 tip is do research. I know I've already talked about research when it comes to tying down your niche and having a look at video topics and picking out who your target audience is going to be, but research can never be understated when you're working on YouTube. If you get an idea for a video, go and search for it. See how many other people are making a similar video. If it's a lot of them, have a think about how you can make your one better, how you can reach a broader audience. Look at the type of keywords that the other videos are using and which ones work and which ones don't. Also have a look at it in terms of how that would work for your existing audience, because that can make quite a bit of difference as well. When you are looking at these videos, also have a look at several different ones and see which ones are getting the highest number of views over time, because that then can give you a tip on what sort of angle you might want to take. Also look at slightly tilted angles on these videos. So once again, if somebody's making a video about the GoPro 9 and saying, hey, here's the new features, and you might go, well, maybe I'll make a video just on a couple of the main features or something like that. Or if they've got 5 tips, maybe you can make a video on 8 tips. Something like that can be really powerful. But definitely always go and look at all your competitors. And I say competitors in the broadest term, because there are so many viewers around, you're not really competing. But go and have a look at people who are making the same sorts of videos as you and figure out how you can do it a little bit better, a little bit different, and a little bit more appealing and adding more value to the users. See which ones are giving users great value now and do something better. Number 9 is thumbnails, and you want to get this one absolutely spot on. Don't underestimate the power of thumbnails. It's the first thing that a viewer sees, and it's the first thing that catches a viewer's attention. You've got one chance to do this, and you've got to do it right. Imagine if Joe Blogs opens up the YouTube browse page and does a search for "I want a new camera," and you've got a video about what new camera should I buy. There is a reasonable chance that your thumbnail will get put into this grid of thumbnails that Joe Blogs has got to choose from. And you want to make sure that when that happens, yours is the one that really stands out. There's a couple of things you can do to do this. First of all, go and look at a heap of videos on how to create really good and effective thumbnails and make sure you follow those rules. And also go and research the thumbnails that other videos with the same subject and keywords and titles that you're using are coming up with, and make sure that your thumbnail stands out from those. Keep your thumbnails consistent as well, so that when somebody sees one of your thumbnails, they'll go, hey, I know that look of that thumbnail and I trust that one, and I'll go to it. A couple of really key tips on thumbnails: put your mug on it. If your face is on your thumbnail, you got 10 times better chance of getting clicked on than anything else. Put the product image on your thumbnail. That's really important. And if you do have to put text on your thumbnail, make sure it's only a few words, it's big bold text, and it really says what it needs to say and no more. Don't be tempted to put a whole pile of different things all over the place, because it's going to be so small no one's ever going to read it. Let YouTube put the title down below the thumbnail. That's always going to happen. So that text is there and the description is there, and people will look that. All the thumbnail needs to do is win their eyeball, and then they'll read your title, and then they'll see a description underneath it, and that'll work. Number 10 is titles, keywords, and descriptions. Now, the metadata that you're putting onto your video description and your title and all that sort of thing is what YouTube uses to sort of classify your video at the top level. It does a lot of other things when it's sorting out what your video is really about. It actually listens to everything you say on your videos and creates keywords for all that. It even looks at the images in your videos. I know for this video that it's going to know what that camera is and what that camera is and what this is down here and this thing behind me and that box up there. I know YouTube are actually looking at every frame of my video, and they're taking notes of what these objects are. The AI can actually see what that is, and it's going to create things like, I've got the Blackmagic video monitors here. YouTube's going to know that I've got those monitors here. So if you search for that, then there's a chance my video will come up, even though I'm not talking about those, what I just did in this video. That's how clever the algorithm is. But when you put a title in, that has a lot of weighting. So make sure your title is one that you've researched using TubeBuddy, that it's got a great score, and that you've got keywords in your title. The great score for the keywords is awesome, but put those keywords into a human readable title. It's no point having some keywords if they're not going to mean anything to the person reading it. So have a real title with a really good keyword in it. And then make sure you put that keyword and that title and a whole pile of other really good keywords in the first 3 lines of your description. Why the first 3 lines? Well, those are the ones that come up at the top of the description when you're reading it. That's important because YouTube knows that people see those first 3 lines. So those are the ones they put the highest impact and rating on when they're indexing your video. The rest of the stuff in your description can be things that people will come back to and look at later if they're interested. The other thing, of course, is the tags and keywords. Keywords don't do a lot for your video these days. There are plenty of videos out there that will tell you about keywords and about tags and that sort of thing. I've got a great video about tags. You can see it here. I'll put another card up, this one. So that's about tags and hashtags and things. Now for tip number 11, and this is the content of your video. That might seem like an obvious one, but getting the content right is really important. You see, viewers don't have a lot of patience, and if you don't get them straight away and your things aren't working right at the beginning, they're going to click away. And if they click away right at the beginning, they're never going to look at the rest of your video, and your attention and your analytics data is going to be really low. If your attention isn't great, YouTube's going to think people don't like the video because they didn't. and they're not going to recommend it to more people. So how you format your video and the content of it and how you build that content to keep people watching is really, really important. There's a really easy method to this. Well, it's easy to talk about, it's harder to execute, but basically it goes like this. For the first 30 seconds of the video, you want to hook the viewer. Start straight away with your content. Whatever you do, don't be tempted to go for one of these things where you've got a big intro title and lots of blurb going on for 20, 30 seconds saying, please subscribe to me and all that begging and everything. Just don't do it. Start your video like I did this one. Hey, how's it going? Here's the content. People know straight away before they even get a chance to reach out to the mouse to click away to something else that this is what they're interested in or not, but they figure that out straight away, and you can get a much higher attention in through that 30 seconds. You get that initial hook, then you get a chance to describe to them what's going to be in the video and give them a reason to stick around. Let them know that they're going to get some value out of the video, and then you can start in on the content. Now, content, people always ask, what's the right length for a YouTube video? And the answer to that is the amount of time it takes to provide the information that you need to your viewer. This video, it's really, really long. A great thing to aim for is around about 8 minutes. Now, YouTube will do pre and post and mid-roll ads on a video that's 8 minutes or longer. That used to be 10 minutes. It's been brought down to 8 recently. That gives you a fairly good indicator of the type of length video that YouTube feels it can get more advertising into, that it feels is of more value and it's safe to put those ads in that kind of length. If you're doing a video that's like 2, 3, 4 minutes long, because that's how long it takes to give the information, that's cool. Don't drag out another 3 or 4 or 5 minutes to make it 8 minutes, because that's just going to make people bored. You're far better off keeping it as a 4-minute video and people going, great, you told me what you needed to in that time, and they'll have watched the whole 100% of the video. If you drag it out another 5 minutes or another 3 minutes just to hit that 8-minute mark, they're probably not going to watch the rest of that anyway, so your attention's going to be lower. Retention is the key thing you really want to go for a video. First of all is getting a number of viewers to it, but that's what your keywords and your thumbnail and your title are for. But keeping people watching as much of the video as possible is the key to YouTube wanting to give that video to more viewers. The more of your video, the more people watch, the more interesting it is. That's the indicator that YouTube uses. So you want to do whatever you can to keep people watching your video. Now, there are a few things you can do, like enumerating the content. I'm kind of doing that in here. I've got 16 steps for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 16 distinct blocks of content in this video that you can go through. It provides some form of progression. That's a story. You might actually have an actual story. You might be telling, you might be having a vlog type video, and here's the beginning of a trip. Then there's going from place A to B, and the conclusion is you get there and something happens and something resolves. You might be doing something like a cooking video, and at the beginning of it you say, we're going to try and make this. Then you go through the process of cooking, and the end of it, you pull it out the oven and taste test it. That's great. It's a story. Those are the sorts of things you want to have in a video, so that there is some sort of progression through the video, and it has a beginning, a natural progression, and a conclusion. That's great. At the end of your video, you don't want to start indicating that the video is over. So you don't want to go, well, that's it, and then blabber on for another 2 minutes, because they're not going to watch out of the 2 minutes. The value has already finished. You want to get to the end of the value and close off and give them the end screen. End screens I'll talk about shortly. And finally, there's the editing. On YouTube, you notice a lot of videos have a lot of jump cuts in it where people tighten things up, or they try and shoot a video in one long take like I do, and they might do 3 or 4 versions of something, and they'll cut out the 2 versions that don't work and leave the good one at the end. And there's a bit of a jump there. That's perfectly acceptable on YouTube. The better you're editing on YouTube and the more involved and interactive it is that you can keep with your audience, the better, that the longer and greater attention. If you're wasting people's time by blabbering on a lot, okay, I do that, I admit it, then they're less likely to stick around. So try and keep your content as concise as possible. Filter it down, cut it down. You might shoot for 20 minutes of video, bring that back down to 8 minutes or 5 minutes, and that's great as long as you're giving people value and you're telling them what they need to hear without dragging it out and boring them. Don't tighten it up just for the sake of making it tight. Make sure that the information and the value is getting to the viewer. I see I'm still using that word value a lot, aren't I? Tip number 12 is using end screens and cards. These are great tools that YouTube give us to encourage people to engage more with more of our content. The end screen is something you can do in the final 20 seconds where you can put a whole pile of different features on screen. What I usually do is down here, I'll put a subscribe link, and up here and here, I'll put a couple of other videos of mine that people can go to. YouTube love it when they see people going from one of your videos to another one. It tells them that they're really engaged with the type of content you're making. And then people who have the same profile as your viewer, it'll start giving your videos to those people as well because they match and they probably would like them. That's how the algorithm works. The other thing you can use to increase engagement are these card things up here. And what you do is you can use those to say, click on this thing here to go and see more detail about something else. You take them from one of your videos to another one of your videos. Trick here is don't put it too early in your video or otherwise your attention on this video will be reduced. So put cards up here where they're useful and relevant. If it's early in your video, remind them to open that card in another tab or to come back and continue watching this video after you've looked at this one. That way you won't ruin the retention in this video. What they're really good for is, once again, it's another signal where YouTube will see people going from one of your videos to another one of your videos, and that helps YouTube say people are really engaging with all of this publisher's content. Number 13 is your comment section. That's the stuff down below. Now, you see I've already asked you to put some comments down in the comment section and ask me questions down there and let me know if you want me to create detailed videos. There are all sorts of ways you can use the comment section to engage with your audience and to get them to feed back to you. It's great if somebody leaves a comment below and then you reply to it because they then come back to your video again to read the reply to the comment, and they might just let it play all the way through again, or you're going to get another view, and that's excellent. If you do leave a reply to somebody's comment, leave a question in your reply as well. So you can leave an answer, a response to their comment that says, yeah, you can do this, blah, 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 give them something to read, and then go, if you try this out, come back and let me know how it works. Get some more engagement, or hey, does anybody else see this? You know, does this count for anybody else as well? Would you like me to make some more content on it? And build that up into a conversation. If you can get a comment and a reply and then a series more replies and comments and get other people involved in it, all those people are going to keep coming back to your video to continue to read that thread of commentary in the discussion below, and your video is going to get another hit every time. That's a great thing to do, isn't it? There are some other things you can do with the comments as well. Read them, because quite often people will ask you questions in the comments that are clearly things that your audience is interested in. And that's what you want to make videos about. So use the comments and the questions below here, all these things, as a source for new video ideas, because you know your audience wants to see that because they've told you. And that's an awesome, powerful thing to do. Number 14, creator communities and feedback. Well, comments is definitely one of those places where you're going to get plenty of feedback, but also go and join some Facebook groups. There's a whole heap of them. There's the YouTube Ritual that Brian G. Johnson's created. Daryl Eves has got his stuff. The Niminati, Nick Nimmin and Dee Nimmin, they've got some great communities going on. There's probably in your local area a local city one. I'm in Wellington, New Zealand, and we've got a Wellington YouTubers group on Facebook that we use, and we tell each other about our new videos and we get feedback. So on that Facebook group, we say, hey, here's my new video, go check it out and let me know what you think about it. And they'll come back and they'll tell me things that work for them. And they'll also point out things that were a bit naff. And that's great. Now, I will be careful. This isn't a thing about getting sub for sub or view for view. This is about a community of creators giving each other creative criticism. There's a very, very different thing. Don't go and do, hey, please go and watch my videos because I want lots of views from people that don't really give a shit about my video. Because if you do that, those people will watch 5 seconds and then say, no, you come and do mine. Stay away from that crap. Build a community, though, of people around you who are also creators and get some good positive and creative and constructive criticism and feedback from them. That's a great thing to do. And that brings me to number 15, which is constant improvement. Every time you do something on YouTube, every video you make, go back and watch it. Have a look at it and do something to improve you in your next video. So does the sound level need to be a bit better? Is the lighting a bit low or not right, or does it look naff? Were you out of focus a bit? Can you improve camera placement? Can you do something like remember to turn the lights on behind you, which I haven't done now? See, next time I'm going to remember to do that. What I'm going to do to help improve myself is I'm going to put a list up on the wall of things to check before I start shooting. And turning those lights on is going to be one of them, because honestly, that's not the first time I've done that. But if you can do something every video to make a small change, you know, improve your background, improve your audio, improve your image, improve your lighting, a different intonation that you're using, just something every time, a little thing, and then before you know it, your videos, if you look at the one you made when you first started and 100 videos later, you're going to go, oh my god, that's so different, and you won't want to go back and watch your first one ever again. Don't delete it. Always leave it there. People love going back and watching the history of their favorite YouTubers. There's a lot of views to be had there. But constant improvement is a huge thing. And now for number 16, the final thing that I want to just sort of pass off to everybody, and this is huge, and I've left it to the end on purpose, but there's a couple of things here I want to talk to you about promoting your videos. Now, so many people do this entirely the wrong way, and it's so easy to do it right, but this temptation to fixate on that subscriber number kills so many channels. Forget about subscribers. We all want more subscribers, but don't go for subscribers at the cost of everything else. Your job is not to get more subscribers. Your job is to make great videos that people want to watch. Now, you want to promote your videos. I understand that. And there's a couple of different ways of doing that. If you want more people to see your videos, create great thumbnails, create great titles, get TubeBuddy Pro subscriptions. Seriously, you'll never regret that. That will pay for itself straight away. When I went and got TubeBuddy Pro subscription, I got monetized within a couple of months, and it just paid for itself straight away. I would never have got there without it. So that there is a very, very small cost and a huge value back to you. Don't do things like sub for sub channels. Don't go onto chat streams where you can drop links. Doesn't matter whether they call it sub for sub or sharing bananas or showing each other love or whatever. And here's the reason why you don't want to. Here are the reasons that you don't want to do that. Firstly, they're going to subscribe to your channel and get you to subscribe to their channel, and then they're going to unsubscribe. They're not going to watch your videos. They might go onto your video, watch 5 or 10 seconds of it, leave a stupid comment that doesn't mean anything, and cancel it. They're going to watch 5 seconds of your 10-minute video. What is that going to do to your retention time? You've got low retention time, and YouTube are just going to say, nobody's interested in watching this. The video obviously sucks because people only watch the first 5 seconds of it. even if they do watch it, if they're not your target audience, then YouTube's going to get really confused because it's going to try and match your video audience with the type of people that are already watching it. So if you're making a video about cameras and a whole pile of people that come onto here that just don't watch camera videos usually, but they're only coming and watching your video to give you watch hours so you can get monetized and it's generating fake traffic and all that sort of thing, they're not actually a target audience. So the people that YouTube again then going to give your video to are also not going to be a target audience, and they're not be interested, and they're going to click away, and YouTube's going to get the signal that why am I giving it to these people? It's I've learned that this is the audience, but it's not the audience, and it gets confused. Republishing the videos instead of creating your own is something that a lot of people seem to be trying to do at the moment. Don't go there. It's not going to work. YouTube are much cleverer than that. They're going to work it out and they're going to kill the channel off. Silent streams is the other one where people turn on their camera and they stand up and they just walk away from the chair and they'll just leave this sitting here for, and you're expecting people to come along and watch your chair for 12 hours. So you've got your camera filming this chair. They've got their browsers playing the video of the chair. Why is YouTube going to sell advertising on that? They're not. You're not going to make any money off it. They know what you're doing. They can see it happening. They're analyzing the image and they're going to cancel all that footage and all that watch time. Spend that time going out making real videos, please. Just stay away from any of this artificial generation of content. It's against the YouTube terms and conditions. They know it's happening and they don't let people get away with it. Now, I'm going to tell you the best way to market your videos. Make a great video, have engaging content, have great thumbnails. Got to have great thumbnails, and have great, meaningful titles and descriptions. And then publish that video and leave it alone. Don't post it out. Don't tell all your friends and family who aren't your target audience avatar. Don't do any of that sort of thing. YouTube will look at your video. It'll take a day and it will understand your video. It'll test it with some viewers that match what the video does. And it will work out whether this person or that person or that person likes it. Then it will test it a bit more and a bit more. And if it's a good video and people watch it, then it will get more and more impressions. It'll get better click-through rate and all that sort of thing. Let YouTube do its job and don't confuse the hell out of the algorithm by getting people to watch your video who are not your target audience. If you're part of a community of camera fiends who really love cameras, sure, get them to watch it. That's fine. They are your target audience. But don't get your mum to watch it and your auntie and your brother and your sister-in-law and all those sorts of people. If they're not your target audience, don't get them to watch your video just for the sake of views. Let YouTube do its job and get the hell out of its way. And that's one of the absolute best tips I can do. Make great videos, great thumbnails, great titles, great descriptions, and then publish the video and let YouTube market it for you. Easy as. Anyway, that's my 16 things. Now, I was talking before about end cards. Here's mine. Click down here to subscribe and click here and here to watch these videos. That's how an end card works. And I'll see you in another one. we've got a good search term, we've got a great thumbnail, you're getting those views and conversions and clicks across, but then they're only watching a few seconds of it and disappearing, and they're not watching the rest, so you're not getting any watch time. How can we fix this? Stick around and I'll show you. Talking about viewer retention, just a quick reminder, if you've got any questions or anything during this video, leave them in the comment section below. I will read through them and I'll get back to as many of them as I can. Also hit the rest of those buttons down there, and of course subscribe if you want to watch more of my videos in the future. That would be awesome. Okay, let's start talking about viewer retention. I'm going to start by drawing you a pretty picture. Now this is a graph that you can find in your analytics. It's got two axes, like most decent graphs do, and this one down here is the number of your viewers that are watching. So let's start at 100% up the top here and 0% down here. Obviously you don't want to go to 0%, and this axis along here is time, and let's say this is a 5-minute video. So here we're starting at 0 minutes, so we've got 5 minutes over here, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. Now, what's happening with a lot of these videos is that somebody will come along, they get the click in, all of you people start watching it, and then straight away it drops down to there and goes like that and then disappears. So you've got everyone who's come to the video starts watching it, but they've all clicked off by about 20 seconds. And you don't really want that. Now, the reasons that people click away are usually fairly common. You've got a long, boring introduction, or you don't introduce your video. You start begging for subscriptions and likes and things like that right at the beginning. That's not what the viewer has come to look at in your video. You've created a really good title and you've created a thumbnail that says, I'm going to tell you there's something about this. You know, I've got this really good subject here, and I'm going to show you about these lenses or this camera or this clapperboard or whatever I've got on the shelf. These books, they're cool too. Your video needs to start straight away talking about what you're going to answer. So your viewer comes along, they've got a question, and you want to affirm for them, hey, this is the question you've got. I'm going to tell you the answer about it. I did that right at the beginning of this video, didn't I? What you want to try and do is get a graph that looks a bit more like this. When all of your viewers come along, you want to try and get them more along this kind of line. So you've got about 50% of your viewers still watching at the end. If you can do that, you're doing a really good job. So what you want to think about is, where along this timeline are you losing people? Different videos have different drop-off points. So obviously you're going to lose some viewers at the beginning because they click on it thinking, oh, this might be a video I'm interested in, and then they'll change their mind or somebody will disturb them or something like that about here. And you're going to lose this list pretty quickly. What you want to do is try and reduce this rate of drop. The more that you can keep up to the first 30 seconds, the less likely they are to disappear later on. That's typically what I've found anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to start breaking your video up into different segments and having a look at how you're going to, first of all, keep your viewers in those first really, really critical seconds, and then how you're going to try to give them a reason to stay through the rest of your video. And here's one way I find quite useful. I'm going to have a look here again at your video, and what I'm going to do is just give you that 5-minute timeline again. So here's your beginning of your video, and here's 5 minutes. And what I'd suggest that you do is you take the first 20 to 30 seconds, so just this bit here, and do that in intro. Now in that intro, you want to ask the question that you're going to answer in the rest of the video. Then you can use about 10 or 15 seconds. So I'll put that at 20 seconds. Then about 10 or 15 seconds here. This is where you can do your intro graphic. So that's where you want to do something like branding, something that's familiar. It's a good idea to do that. Just don't drag it out. 10 or 15 seconds is more than enough. Go have a look at Peter McKinnon. Go have a look at some of the old Casey Neistat stuff. And you'll see that they're using a very quick, snappy branding thing. It's enough that you are recognizing it and it's familiar. It makes you feel like you're at home. It's this is the video you're on, and you've tagged it as your space. You only need to spend much time. Don't put things like don't put things like me and all of those begging things. Leave them completely out of it. We'll get back to some of that later. You do want to have those in there. You want to do it in the right place that doesn't put people off carrying on. Let's get back to the timeline.
If you're looking for a CRM, get Monday.com's flexible CRM solution that can manage the entire customer lifecycle, client projects and services, marketing campaigns, anything. It's easy to use and takes minutes to set up. Your team is going to love it. Capture leads from a variety of sources and easily automate the follow-up process. Get a 360-degree view of your customers with full communication history. Once you've closed the deal, Monday.com makes it easy to manage your clients' projects, services, email marketing, and support tickets all on the same platform. Integrate the tools you use.
You've got this in here, then you've got the rest of your video. Say you're about half a minute in, you've got about 4 and a bit minutes. Now is just a really quick piece into the here, and that's a welcome. 5 points that you're going to cover. Then you go, here's the first point, and tell them about it. Now here's the second point, tell them about that. Here's the third point, we've got 2 more to go. Remind them, we've got some more to go. Now people are going to stick and watch 1 point, then they'll stick and watch the next point, then they're more likely to stick and watch the 3rd, 4th, 5th point. And then you can give them a summary at the end and engage them to stay longer. So enumerating content means you're breaking the content up into a specific number of blocks of content, and you're telling your viewer that up front, because then they have an expectation that they're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're more likely to stick around and watch that. Not everybody's going to, of course, but the number that do has just increased for you. So what we've got here now is we've got the intro question, the splash, the welcome, the outline, and when you are promising the content, and then you've got a set of blocks through your content that cover off a defined set of points. Not only does this give your viewer a reason to stick around for a particular number of points, it also gives you a really good way of organizing what you're going to be talking about before you start. And that means that what you're talking to your audience about is a lot more comprehensive and cohesive and more easily understood, basically. I shouldn't even use the big words if I don't need to. I can't help it. Anyway, now that you've delivered your content, there's one more bit you want to do right at the end of your video. Now this is a bit where you've got 20 seconds at the end here. And I see so many people aren't doing this, and they're not putting in the end screen. There you go, end screen. Now what is the end screen? The end screen is a piece of overlay on your video that YouTube puts over it, which has got some links to other things, and it can be a link to your subscribe, it can be a link to another one of your videos, it can be a link to someone else's video, or to a playlist that you've got. Your end screen is what gets your viewers from the end of your video to the beginning of one of your new videos, or gets them to subscribe. And they look a bit like this. Basically it's a frame of your video, and you can put your subscribe button here, for example, and you might put a video up here, another video down here, and you might have yourself talking here. Now if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that that's what I use for my end screen template. It's exactly the same each time, but the purpose of this is pretty clever, because this one here is always a subscribe, this one here is always my latest video, and this one here is a related video. So what I'm doing is I'm using the end of every video to try and get you to come along and have a look at some of my other videos. Keeps people in continuity, and it also helps them find more information about
Hello everyone, please like and share. Hello everybody from Mummy C. Thank you for being here.
from Liverpool in these opening 2 minutes. Already, Liverpool are pushing Norwich City further and further back down the pitch towards their own goal. But here come Norwich City out on the left-hand side, on the edge of the penalty area. Can he unleash a shot? He's inside the penalty area. He's looking for support. He finds it. He tries to get the ball across. Still with Norwich City, the space out on this right-hand side. Is it too strong? Is he going to get to it? And Liverpool clear it in line with their own penalty spot. Good chance now for Norwich City to throw that ball into the penalty area. They decide against it. They take it short. Still with Norwich City on this near left-hand side. A very warm welcome to Football Fans Live, each and every single one of you. We say it as we see it. There is no BS here. There is no BS. I will tell you exactly what I see on the screen. If it's great, I'll tell you if it's great. If it's crap, I'll tell you it's crap. Paul Bloggs in the house, and Paul Bloggs is wearing one of our Football Fans Live t-shirts. Thank you so much, brother Paul. Many blessings, much love to you, and thank you so much for coming back for the second game of the season. Second game of the day, not the season. Second game of the day. Goodness me, running away with myself already running away with myself. And it's offside. Norwich City breaking down that far left-hand side. But the linesman flagging on that one. It's an offside. It's an offside. So it's going to be a free kick to Liverpool inside their own half. With the right back now, takes the free kick, playing it across field to his centre back, out towards the left-hand side. He changes his mind, passes it out now, out onto that right-hand side. Guys, if you haven't already, please smash that thumbs up, hit that like button, and if you can, please share it out with as many people as you can. Tell your granddad about Football Fans Live. I'm sure he will absolutely love it. Tell your brother about Football Fans Live. And if you haven't got a brother, tell your sister. If you haven't got a sister, tell your dog or cat. I'm sure you've got one of those four. So spread the word about Football Fans Live. And of course, hit that subscribe button. I promise you won't catch COVID by hitting the subscribe button. Oh man, 28,000 people, 27 to 28,000 people inside the stadium here today at Carrow Road. Now, Norwich City, little bit of statistics, little bit of history. Norwich City were founded in 1902 and they've been at Carrow Road since 1935. Amazing. The 17th of June, 1902, they were actually founded. So they're a fairly old side. They've been around for a fair few years now. Over the halfway line come Norwich City into Liverpool's half. Good ball upfield. It's an handball there. Referee says play on. Saying it's accidental. Liverpool get the ball away only as far as that halfway line. And now Norwich City starting very, very bright, very, very pacey, very, very energetic indeed. Now they push Liverpool back into their own half in the first 5 minutes of this game. The home side. Can the Norwich City fans make the difference today? Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Claymare, for streaming us live on your channel right now. Thank you so much. So, guys, yes, Claymare, C-L-A-I-M-E-R-E, Claymare. Check out her channel as well, guys. And, of course, Paul Bloggs too. And that's Paul Bloggs with only one G and one S too. Paul Bloggs too. Check them out, guys. Great channels on YouTube as well. But thank you so much, guys, for being here. What can Liverpool do? Can they do what they normally do against Norwich City? And that is score 4 or 5 goals. The next 85 minutes will answer that question. And here come Liverpool inside the penalty area. It's onto the back post. And Norwich just about get it clear on that back post. So close. Great attack by Liverpool out on the far right-hand side. Good cross into the penalty area. It's a 35-yard cross. It's flicked on inside the penalty area. But the Liverpool player could not get to it on the back post. And I think it's going to be a corner. But it might have been the Liverpool player. No, to me, that looks like a corner. Is it a corner? What's the referee called? It is a corner to Liverpool out on this left-hand side. Norwich City have to get this ball away. They have to be first to the ball. It comes in, and they are first to the ball, but they still don't get it away. And now they do. Out on that far right-hand side, Liverpool playing the ball back into the area. And now Norwich City heading it out up to the halfway line with Liverpool. Here they come again. It's the number 7 for Liverpool. Liverpool in their all red shirts. all red shorts and all red socks. Mo Salah couldn't keep that ball in out on that right-hand side. Ran his socks off, but he couldn't keep it in. Couldn't keep it in. And it's a throw into Norwich City, deep inside their own half. They need to get the ball out. They need to get it away. They need to get back into that Liverpool half and do something with it. And here they do come now, over the halfway line. Here they go, here they go. But back come Liverpool. It's end-to-end stuff. But no team seem to be able to hold on to the ball for 4 or 5 passes at the moment. Good interception, 7 minutes into this game. Still no score on the board at the moment. Both sets of fans need to be livened up. They need to be livened up. We need some energy from both sets of fans. I don't think there's that many Liverpool fans inside the stadium today because of the away ticket, you know, the away ticket. They're only given so many, but there are some. But we do have a full stadium, and that is great because fans, football fans, real live football fans are back where they absolutely belong, inside a football ground, cheering on their team, singing Hey Jude, as we had last night, or even, you know, the Neil Diamond one that we were singing, Sweet Caroline, all the way through the European Championships. Guys, here on Football Fans Live, we're going to be bringing you over 400 games. That's 400 games from 4 different leagues this season, plus the French leagues, plus the Spanish league, plus the German, plus the Italian, and around 200 cup games. So in total, well over 600 games. If they're showing it on TV, we're going to be bringing it for you guys because Football Fans Live is all about the fans. This is your channel. So guys, please tell as many people as you possibly can about this wonderful channel. We don't mess about here. We say it as we see it. There is no BS. We don't beat about the bush. No namby-pamby commentary. We will not make it soft. We will not make it nice. We will say it truly and honestly. Sometimes controversial. Sometimes a little bit offensive. And sometimes I lose my rag. So you'll get it as I see it. It's a goal kick. Goal kick, Krul with the goal kick, the Norwich goalkeeper. Downfield, out onto this far right-hand side. Still with Norwich, Liverpool. Good interception there. Clear it up towards halfway line. He's taken down. Referee giving a free kick to Liverpool inside their own half. Aarons, the number 2 for Norwich, was the instigator in that foul there. Liverpool take it quickly, playing it back to the back 4. Patient build-up by Liverpool. They know that eventually they will be able to break down Norwich City. Let's hope that they can't. The Canaries now. Here come the Reds over the halfway line. Right-footed down into the penalty area. Good clearance once again on the edge of their own penalty area. Norwich City get the ball clear, but it's bouncing back in. Liverpool constant in their attack. Unrelentless in their attack. And here they come again, up towards the penalty area. He's inside the penalty area, clips it in, left-footed, and a good clearance over the crossbar. Good clearance over the crossbar by Gibson, the number 4 for Norwich City. And Norwich City escape once again, but it is going to be another corner kick to Liverpool out on this near left-hand side. It was a good ball, chipped into the 6-yard box, but great clearance by Gibson, the number 4. It's going to be a left-footed cross from the Liverpool, number 21. In it comes. Danger. Major danger. It's on the edge of the penalty area. Still with Liverpool. Chips it towards the back post. Flipped on and the goalkeeper diving and tips it over the crossbar. It was Thiago with the header. And what a save by the Norwich goalkeeper, Krul. It was chipped in towards the penalty spot. A flicked on header and just put over the crossbar. It's going to be another corner to Liverpool out on this near left-hand side. This time they go short. This time Liverpool go short, looking to get it into that penalty area. They have to play it back, and Liverpool sent all the way back to the centre circle. And the goalkeeper for Norwich is going to gather that ball as it comes back to him. Rolled out to this near right-hand side. Here come Norwich, wanting to get on with the play. No hanging around, no messing about. They don't want to waste any seconds today. Do Norwich City. And it's rolled out by the Liverpool goalkeeper. The pass was just too strong. And it went all the way back to that Liverpool goalkeeper. All in grey. The Liverpool keeper, all in grey today. But a good save by Krul in the Norwich City goal. But here come Norwich, here come Liverpool once again. Goalkeeper coming out 10 yards out of his goal and gathers the ball with both hands. It was Main that was trying to make the break through the middle there. He got into the penalty area, but it was just too strong. Overhit by the midfielders inside that centre circle. I did. Thank you so much, Clay, once again. I know I said it earlier, but thank you so much, Clay, for streaming us live on your live. Really do appreciate it. Any bit of help, guys, if you can share this out and hit that subscribe button and get your mates to subscribe, then we really, really do appreciate it here on Football Fans Live. We already today, oh my goodness, if you were with us earlier today, we covered the Manchester United Leeds game, and what a fantastic game that was. That was pretty unbelievable. Man United winning by 5-1. Bruno Fernandes getting a hat-trick. Greenwood getting a goal as well. Oh, man, it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. An action-packed game, and that's what we want from this one here today. 13 minutes on the clock. Still the deadlock hasn't been broken yet. But here come Norwich City. Oh, just too strong over the head. It was a cross in from the left-hand side, right-footed, but there was only one Norwich City player inside that penalty area. They've got to get more bodies inside there if they are to cause an upset today. It was Pukki, Pucker, P-U-K-K-I, Pukki, whatever. It was him in the penalty area, but they're on his own. The Canaries, Norwich City, have to get yellow shirts inside the penalty area if they are to cause an upset today. Obviously, Liverpool, favourites, not only to win today, but one of the favourites to win the league. They are one of the favourites to take the Premiership title back from Manchester City, who took it away from Liverpool. The animals came in one by one, ha ha, ha ha, 2 by 2 actually. But yeah, Manchester United beat Leeds United at Old Trafford by 5-1. We have got more Premiership scores coming your way. Burnley 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 2. Chelsea 3, Crystal Palace 0. Everton 3, Southampton 1. Southampton went 1-0 up in that game, but Everton coming back at home to win by 3-1 in that game. And it was that man, Jamie Vardy, on target for Leicester City as they beat Wolverhampton Wanderers. Leicester were at home by 1-0. Jamie Vardy on the goal. And a really close game, actually. Watford were 3-0 up. I think it went, there was about 5 minutes left on the clock, 10 minutes left on the clock. And Aston Villa gave Watford a real shock at home today. Because Watford were 3-0 up with about 10 minutes to go. And Aston Villa pulled 2 back in those dying moments. But it just wasn't enough at the end. So Watford won that by 3-2. So guys, don't forget, this is the second of 3 games today. The second of 3 fantastic games. Later on tonight, we're in Wales, where Swansea City take on Sheffield United. We saw Sheffield United, we covered the Sheffield United game earlier in the week when the season kicked off. And they looked very impressive indeed, even though they lost to Birmingham City by 3-2. But they played extremely, extremely well. It was a great game, really was. And here come Liverpool now, out on that left-hand side, crossed into the penalty area. Norwich City, get away. Still Liverpool, though, on this left-hand side, trying to get the ball into the penalty area. Failed to do so. Intercepted by Norwich City. Norwich City have to clear their lines. They've got to get that ball forward. They haven't been out of their own half for about 5 to 10 minutes now. And it's a foul. It's going to be a free kick out on this near right-hand side. The number 14 taken out by Liverpool. And it's a free kick and a chance for them to clear their lines. Plays it back to his centre-back. Now, out onto that left-hand side. What can Norwich City do? They've got to push forward. They can't let Liverpool pen them into their own half. And he's given it away. Oh, and that was a good cover-up. That was a good clean-up by Norwich City. the Norwich City right back gave it away to a Liverpool player 20 yards from goal, and it took his centre back to step in and to save him from embarrassment there. But it'll come Liverpool on the edge of the penalty area. Tries a nice, neat back heel, but didn't work. Gibson was there for Norwich City to clear the danger. Throwing to Liverpool out on that far right-hand side. Plenty of pressure from Liverpool. Like I said, Norwich City haven't been able to clear the ball out of their own half for the last 10 minutes. 17 minutes on the clock. Still, Norwich City 0, Liverpool 0. Liverpool in the last 14 meetings have beaten Norwich City. Can Norwich City change that today? It's with Liverpool inside the penalty area. Oh, it was Salah. I do believe it was. It was Salah unleashed a right-footed shot, but it was straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. He's 8 yards from goal, right-footed on the front post. Great shot. But the keeper was equal to it and gathers it on his front post with both hands. What a great shot by Mo Salah, and what a great save by the goalkeeper. Had his front post well covered. And it's with Liverpool now. Free kick inside their own centre circle. Over the halfway line they come, out on that right-hand side. So the first real chance dropping to Liverpool. And here's another one. Cleared. It was a cross from the right-hand side. And it's the number 2 for Norwich City that cleans it up and puts it out for a corner to Liverpool. Liverpool have had 3-4 corners in this first opening 19 minutes of the game. It's out on this near left-hand side. They failed to make any real chances out of the corners. It's the number 21 for Liverpool that's going to take it. Left-footed, whips it in towards the 6-yard box. On the edge of the area, shot comes in, right-footed, 22 yards out. And it goes high and wide. It was Chamberlain. High and wide, over the crossbar. 19 minutes gone. One real chance in this game falling to Mo Salah. Jurgen Klopp shaking his head. He's not happy that it's still 0-0. He feels and thinks that his Liverpool team, Jurgen Klopp, the Liverpool manager, thinks and feels that his team should be in front by now. 19 minutes gone in this game. But Norwich City still holding their own at home in front of 28,000 people. It is so great, so nice to have so many football real fans back in the ground, cheering on their teams. Cheering on their teams. And here comes Norwich City. It's through on goal. Oh, and a great save at the front post. 8 yards out. He beat the offside trap. Right-footed. It was Pukki. Wow. What a great chance. Chipped over the top from this near right-hand side. Beautiful first touch. Second touch, keeps it under control. And the goalkeeper going to his knees. And it's going to be a corner kick to Norwich City. The defenders did well to push him out wide to shorten that angle, so he didn't have a lot to aim for. The cross comes in, right-footed. Liverpool clear. Only as far. And it's a great shot, right-footed. Oh, and it goes over the crossbar. It was cleared outside the penalty area. He was 20 yards out, right-footed shot, just too high. It began to dip, but just not quick enough, just not fast enough to trouble the goalkeeper. But that was a great chance and a great corner for Norwich City once again. Can we see an upset? I want to see an upset. Still with Norwich City. Crosses it into the penalty area. Liverpool get it clear. Picked up. And here's Norwich City once again. Plenty of pressure now from the Canaries. Come on, Norwich City. Get those yellow shirts inside the penalty area. Steps into the penalty area. Unleashes a left-footed shot, but straight into the goalkeeper's hands. Not enough power. Nice height. And the goalkeeper, the Liverpool goalkeeper, gathers the ball once again. But good pressure from the Canaries there. Just a 2-minute spell, but managed to get 3-4 shots on target. Good defending by Liverpool. Good defending. Like I said, I am completely neutral. I always am. I always try to be, unless it's Man United, Bournemouth, Kidderminster Harriers or England. But I do love an underdog, and I will always be cheering for the underdog. But I will say it as I see it. Liverpool playing exceptionally well. Norwich City really holding their own. And now they've had a couple of good chances as well. So Liverpool are not going to have it all their way today. And here come Norwich City down this left-hand side. It's 3-on-3. What can Norwich? He's got 2 players inside the penalty area, but the cross was crap. The cross was shockingly shite. Left-footed, no power, and it was an easy clearance for Liverpool. But another good chance, another good break down that left-hand side. They're having a lot of joy down that left-hand side. Liverpool are having problems with their right back. Good flick on over the halfway line it was. We've seen it once again. 3-on-3, racing into the penalty area. And the cross was diabolical, unfortunately, from the Norwich player. Terrible cross. But Norwich pick it up once again on this halfway line. Chip forward down the left wing. But Norwich didn't read that ball, didn't read it at all. Thank you, everybody that's here right now on Football Fans Live. This is your channel. It's all about real football fans. You know, we sweat, we sing, we cry, we cheer together. And that is what Football Fans Live is all about. Good, honest commentary. And football is about the fans. It's not about the money, you know, which some clubs try to make it all about. Because without the fans, and it was proven last season, without the fans, it's across into the penalty area. Mo Salah. Was it Mo Salah? Wow, it was. It was Mo Salah, a left-footed volley. It was crossed from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. Cracking shot, but he just drags it wide. Let's have a look at that again. It's whipped in, left-footed, edge of the penalty area. Mo Salah, left-footed volley. Wow, and it just went wide. Very, very close to a Liverpool opener once again. And Mo Salah has scored in the opening games of the last 4 seasons. Can he break a Premiership record by scoring in 5? And it's a long shot out on this right-hand side. The goalkeeper was off his line. Liverpool fluffed it. And the Norwich player he saw the goalkeeper off of his line, tried to wallop it, just like what happened to Scotland with Klitsch in the European Championships. But he hit it too high and it went over the crossbar. But another good chance. You know, Liverpool, everybody thinks that Liverpool, because of past history, will have their own way today. It's not looking that way at all. Although Mo Salah is a major, major thorn in Norwich City's side today. We've got an English referee. The man in the middle is English. It's Andre Mariner. Doesn't sound like a very English name. Oh, and he's a Midlander. He's a Midlander. He's based in Solihull. Well, we share something because I grew up in the Midlands and we've got a lot of YouTube friends from the Midlands. And we've already covered West Bromwich Albion this season and Birmingham City. Right, so it's a free kick on the halfway line. James Milner, the Englishman, picking up a yellow card for Liverpool. Both teams today here at Carrow Road playing with a formation of 4-3-3. Oh, and the referee gets in the bloody way.